Back from our training camp tour, there's a prompter, there's air conditioning, there are lights, there's hair and makeup that isn't done in the back of a Sprinter van amidst Twizzler wrappers and Wawa. Okay, we are back in Los Angeles. We haven't been here since, I believe, the beginning of June. I barely made it in on time because the traffic is still insane from Taylor Swift last night here in LA. But listen to me. Football is here. Football is here. We got 2 games tonight. We have all the headlines from the best reporters in the business. I'm bringing them the most credible, the people that are in the locker rooms with these teams. And Donovan Smith went from protecting Tom Brady in Tampa to hanging out with Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. And today he is on Up and Adams. Okay, I said we have football tonight, and it was crickets. Like, are you guys rusty? Are we? The full preseason football! We miss it. We watch the we all talk about the Hall of Fame game like who cares? We all watch the Hall of Fame game. We're all watching Hard Knocks. We want any little morsel of anything we can get. We've got 2 that are underway this evening. First, 7 Eastern, Texans headed to Foxborough to take on the Patriots. And I'm going to give you a few things that I will be looking for in that one. First up, we got to start with C.J. Stroud. We haven't said his name since we were in Kansas City and you were yelling at people to turn their music down during our interviews. But C.J. Stroud, he's making the start for Houston, H-Town, his official debut. This is a big deal. And yes, we all expected Stroud to start for this team from the moment he was drafted. But this is significant. This is the first rookie quarterback that will start for the Texans preseason opener since David Carr. Not Derek, David Carr, in Houston's first year as a franchise back in 2002 when I was like failing biology or whatever at Whitney Young High School in Chicago. It's been a long time. This org tends not to rush quarterbacks into a starting role traditionally, but Stroud has so clearly been the guy from everything that we're hearing come out of camp. And Case Keenum, who signed to the Texans this offseason after spending 2022 backing up Josh Allen, this is a veteran. This is a guy who's been there, played in the biggest kind of games, been around winning teams, losing teams. He's been raving about Stroud's, quote-unquote, unwavering focus on getting better and blocking out the noise. So we've also seen incredible throws out of practice, right? This one. Oh, okay, Tab. Okay. That's John Mechie, who's also making his debut. We're excited to see this, and this is a great story that we'll be tracking throughout the NFL career of Mechie. He battled something bigger than any foe in the AFC. He battled leukemia last season, and we talked about that a lot on our show. Easy to root for him and see how he does tonight. And I know it's the preseason. Like, can't read that much into it, but I mean, can we just see Stroud let it rip tonight? And that's exactly what you should do in the preseason. None of this play it safe BS. Show me some flashes of what your potential is tonight, C.J. Stroud. And I think the offense does have the guts, the juice to have some fun this year. And I want a taste of that this evening with football. I'm excited. And there's another matchup tonight as well. It's the Vikings. They're going to, I think it might be the team of the show. I think so. I think Seattle might be the team of the show. We love, huge bummer that we have not gotten to go up to Seattle and check out training camp. That's at 10 Eastern. I will be up watching this bad boy, and my eyes are glued to the position that's got this entire offseason, the backfields on both sides. For Seattle, I want to see friends of the show, right? I want Devin Witherspoon, I want Jackson Smith and Jigba, but there's something interesting going on at the running back spot that I'm going to be paying attention to because even after Kenneth Walker's phenomenal chef's kiss rookie season, John Schneider and company, they spent a second rounder, a precious second rounder on another RB, Zach Charbonnet out of UCLA. So Walker's sitting tonight. He's got a groin injury. Here you go. This is how it always happens in the NFL. Zach has this golden opportunity to make the case for some serious playing time, even when Walker gets back into the mix. I'd like a little bit of a rotation. I'd like a strong backfield here to support Geno Smith and what this team's goals are, which are to unseat a Bosa-less Bay Area squad in the NFC West. So you want to know a little bit about the Charbonnet kid? Hamilton likes him a lot. That's all you need to know. He's got a punishing running style. He's got an ability to sort of run through opposing tacklers. Super fun to watch. So we're excited to see that on display. And yeah, it'll inevitably lead to a fantasy migraine of sorts with what's going on in the backfield. That's okay. Enjoy what you get tonight. And then on the other side, no Dalvin Cook. Alexander Mattison, he's expected to take on the starting role for the Vikings, but someone else is going to have to emerge there, okay, as we sort of get going and see what they're doing. And I like their 7th rounder. He's out of UAB, Dwayne McBride, okay, nation's 2nd leading rusher last year. Check him out, okay? Who does this remind you of? Let us know at Up and Adam Show. I'll tell you who he reminds lots of people of. Can I tell you what his yards per carry mark was in NCAA? 7.3. Top 10 all time in NCAA history, tied with Reggie Bush. He can do it all. He's explosive, he's got vision, and as you can see here, he's shown the ability to run routes, what you just saw, and catch the football too. So the smaller school factor, I know, caused him to slip a little bit in the draft, but I think the Vikings might have gotten themselves a steal here, and I can't wait to check out the debut tonight. We have this amazing thing going on, and I was just thinking as I'm saying this, like, is it the Vikings division? They won it last year. Nobody's really talking about them. How good are they going to be? They lose Eric Kendricks. He's now a Charger. Like, I think, what has Kevin O'Connell got for this? Are they going to unseat the trendy, sexy pick, the Lions, or the Bears coming? These divisions in the NFL on both sides are so tight. Like, they're really hard to call, and that leads to so much fun because the NFL season, guys, is here. And we have been working really hard and really creatively. And I got to say, FanDuel is so on the forefront of just collabing, of me saying, like, I want to find something fun. All I want to do is give stuff away. If you saw me at Bengals camp, I'm like, let's give away ice cream. Let's give away hats. Let's give away, like, whatever we get. FanDuel's like, okay, we're on board. Let's find something that really works for the Up and Adams brand and the show and what we do at FanDuel. And here's what we came up with. It's literally a gift card. Like, you're in the aisle at CVS and you're picking where you want to shop. So this is what's happening. It's a very special, very unique profit boost that I'm really thankful for. And we're going to do it every Thursday this August. So today, hopefully you got an email. You can still sign up. You can get a 25% profit boost to use on any NFL division winners market. We picked different categories that we thought would be fun. And basically what you have to do is pick a team to win any NFL division, and then you can boost your potential winnings by 25%. It's really fun, and it's not that easy, and you can bust out a parlay as well. So straights and parlays, both eligible here. Log in and claim your NFL Profit Boost token, courtesy of everyone at FanDuel. Like, FanDuel Sportsbook hooked it up, and we're going to do this every Thursday. We're very excited about it. Hamilton, we decided to, as a team, and with FanDuel Sportsbook as a team, to sort of roll out the division winner options because it's very fun. You can be high risk or you can be risk averse a little bit and play the favorites and then boost and then, you know, get the good odds on top of that. So if we bring up the NFC South odds, that's where I'm going, people. Looking at this, okay, getting plus odds on the Saints as a favorite, okay? Then you get this 25% profit boost that's in your email, or sign up right now and log in, guys. To me, this is my no-brainer, Hamilton. The Saints are the only team in that division that has a proven quarterback. They have by far the most complete roster in that division. If they can finally avoid injuries, please. And this division is there for the taking, and they're clearly in the best position. So I like the Falcons, and I'm seeing some people, and guys, I want to see your betting slips. And people are sending me who they picked with this profit boost, and it's just today you can do it. So get there and get it going. A lot of Falcons. I like that too. But I'm talking about safe, high, nice floor, and you're getting bang, bang, bang on those three things I mentioned. So I also want to say the Saints are actually allowed to have fun. Sean Payton has left the building. And I had my Fox hat on, but you can't have a bucket hat on. I don't know what's going on over there, but there's no bucket hat ban from Dennis Allen. So you're going to see Will Lutz out there rocking one. You're going to see, I don't know, how about Ted Ginn, who'll be joining our show at some point. He's helping out the coaching staff with a bucket of his own, working with Chris Olave. Listen, it is Bucket Hat City. Kevin James, who played Sean Payton in a Netflix movie, Hamilton, is a big fan of the bucket hat. So I'm going to put on my profit boost token bucket hat, metaphorically speaking, my friend, and I'm going to put my profit boost action towards the Saints. Am I crazy?
I think the bucket hat thing is the best reasoning I've ever heard to pick a team to win a division. Mm-hmm. But no, I think you're absolutely right. I think the Saints are they're the one team that has some knowns. They're the safest choice. Those other teams in that division have so many unknowns. I do like the Falcons too. But again, with that 25% boost, this is the time to take a safe choice. I like it.
Okay, what do you got?
that being said, I cooked up a little parlay because, as you said, you could do straight bets and you could do parlays for this thing.
I'm out.
So let's bring it up. So I took the 3 teams that I feel most confident in winning their divisions this year. The Jaguars, with all the turnover that's going on in the AFC South, all the rebuilding that's happening there, with Calvin Ridley addition, they're on the way up. The Niners in the NFC West, I know you like the Seahawks, but I still think that Niners roster is just unbelievable, and I believe in Brock Purdy. And the Chiefs to win the AFC West. The Chargers are up and coming. They're making me a little nervous, especially with Chris Jones absent, but it's hard to pick against Patrick Mahomes. So those 3, it boosts odds to plus 311 when you package those 3 together in a parlay. Plus you get the 25% profit boost. I like that one.
I like this.
You want to take a little more of a risk.
Yeah, most people are going with parlays, which I think is horrendous. Like, I'd say easy peasy. But this is why I like this. I like the fact that FanDuel Sportsbook was like, let people pick their own thing. And I was like, that's possible? And it's been something in the works for a long time. So every Thursday, today's the division winner, 25%. I mean, I have one here from Joe Sports. He says LFG, it's Atlanta Falcons, Detroit Lions, Kansas City Chiefs. That's his parlay. I don't hate that because... And then I have literally there's a 6-leg parlay on one of these. But if that hits, enjoy, and I love that for you. Guys, head on over to FanDuel Sportsbook, log in. We tried sending emails out to everybody that's already part of the FanDuel family. It's where you need to be. So enjoy, and thank you to FanDuel for being so cool and letting us have fun with that. We got a big show here. We got those 2 games tonight. Yeah, I'm talking Alexander Madison. I'm talking backfields. I'm talking Charbonnet out of UCLA up the wazoo here on the show. We're also going to check in with some training camps that are going on. I mean, we've got battles at positions. We've got joint practices ahead. We will talk to the best reporters in the business. We've got the Niners covered, the Bucs, the Colts next right here on Up and Adams. Also, I'm going to yell at everybody about sunglasses. A lot going on at the quarterback position throughout these training camps, so we wanted to bring in some of our favorite, I don't want to say we play favorites around here, but we do. We want people who are on the ground, who know these teams best, who are in it to win it, and help us get some information as we get ready for the NFL season. So there's these QB battles, and we're going to start. I mean, when you hear QB battle, you think Shanahan again. So we start in the Bay with KRON4 Bay Area sports reporter Kate Rooney. Kate, is he ever just going to pick a guy, eeny, meeny, miny, mo? Has he never heard of it?
Well, this pretty much sums it up, Kate. The Kirk Cousins rumors are still going on right now. So I don't know if we're ever going to see them to this saga. But right now, Brock Purdy is the guy. And as a matter of fact, Shanahan committed about as much as he's ever committed to anyone in his tenure in the Bay Area. He said even right after Purdy's injury that Purdy was going to be the guy if he was healthy enough. And Purdy is healthy enough, miraculously. He's pretty much ahead of schedule from where we all thought he would be. So he is the QB1. There's no doubt about it. As long as he stays healthy and stays on track, he's going to be the guy this season. And so now the battle that we're really looking at is at that number 2 spot. But so far, it doesn't look like Purdy's missed a step at all. If anything, he looks better than we all thought he would at this point. Arm strength is better maybe than it was before. He's got plenty of zip on his throws. Doesn't look like he's got any residual issues from that surgery whatsoever.
Are you noticing anything, and I know this, it's a word that's overused, vibe-wise? Like, Brock just seems to attract everyone in a bit of a different way. And the number 2 spot, super intriguing, but is he standing out as sort of a leader among these guys at camp?
Brock is the most composed 23-year-old I've ever been around. He is just so even-keeled no matter what is thrown his way. And I think that's a leadership style that the 49ers players have really responded to. I mean, look at the connection that he developed with George Kittle in the second half of the season last year. I think that just kind of is emblematic of the way that he has been able to capture the confidence of these guys right away. They were worried. It's no secret that the rest of the team was really worried about what was going to happen in their quarterback situation, because the way they've put this roster together, that's kind of been the question mark and the missing piece for years here now, right? And so they felt like, hey, that we finally maybe have some things figured out with Purdy. He gets hurt. The question marks remain. They are just so elated that he looks good, that he is presumably going to be their guy on day one. And so, yeah, the vibes are really good around practice, I think, because of that. They've just felt really energetic and happy throughout training camp so far.
Yeah. Does everyone hear what Kate is saying? Niners fans, be happy. They're happy.
Not used to it, okay?
There's a question here about who, and the Trey Lance thing and the Sam Darnold thing, who's ahead of who. And yes, Sam Darnold, he did go 4-2 to end the season last year with the Panthers, and I'm always rooting for him. I like a rewrite in the NFL. It's very hard to accomplish, but you see what Geno's doing in your same division when he's surrounded in the right system. That could easily be Sam Darnold. But just, are you hearing it, Niners fans? You got your guy. He's healthy. Miraculously is the word she just used. Maybe just, I don't know, Rob Stats Guerrera. Maybe you just enjoy it for what it is, and then let's keep it moving here. Although there are a couple questions, so let's move away from the quarterback spot. And I should tell everybody, Brock will not be suiting up in the first preseason action against the Raiders Sunday as he ramps up from that injury. He won't be out there, which I like. So we'll see Trey Lance and Purdy battle it out, and Sammy D battle it out. I hearkened back to the Sam Bradford, Sammy B days, back from the Vikings and the Rams. Okay. Nick Bosa, not at Niners camp, okay? He's waiting for a new deal. Is it going to get resolved soon as you're around the team? Are you getting that sort of idea, or is this going to be a lingering-ish?
49ers do have a recent history of getting these deals done later in the preseason program. That's kind of what happened with George Kittle, with Fred Warner, with Deebo Samuel in recent years. So that is their precedent. They want to save as much money as they can because they are going to have to pay a quarterback eventually here. So it is all kind of tied together in that way. But Nick Bosa knows what he's worth. He's not going to settle for anything less than being the highest paid defensive player in the league. And so I think that that's what's holding things up here. The other thing is the 49ers really aren't worried about him stepping in and doing what he does without having the perfect extended off-season and preseason program. So they're really not worried about that. If there's any player you don't worry about having that, it's Bosa, right? Because of the way he conditions on his own. So I think they feel that they can afford to negotiate as much as humanly possible, try to get the best deal on their end. But the 49ers brass haven't expressed anything other than confidence that they're going to get this done. He wants to be in San Francisco. They want him here. So it's just a matter of agreeing on a number. And I think we'll see that happen before the season starts, but they might make 49ers fans wait a painfully long time.
They like to do that somehow. And John Lynch is such a nice guy. And, I don't know why they would do that to fans, but that's what's happening there. I will say, I just want this out there on the record. I'm a grudge holder as a show. We are a grudge holding show. And Nick Bosa began this holdout the day after he won DPOY last year, where he was slated to join my show from the Super Bowl, stood me up. Completely stood me up. And then, and then the other day I'm at Chargers camp and we were slated to have Joey Bosa join us. And I say, well, he's the better Bosa. I don't have, Joey walks right by and just does not. He's just not interested. It does not. So I'm out on the Bosas right now.
And for 2 on Bosas.
I'm over. Well, they're 0 for 2 on me, I would say. That's how we're spinning it here on the show. Kate, enjoy it. I know it's such a gauntlet. I know, the training camp vibe is insane, but we so appreciate you bringing us the best information. Kate Rooney with KRON, I believe, in the KRON4 Bay Area. We appreciate you, and hopefully we have you on soon. Thank you so much.
So much, Kay.
Yeah, goodbye, Bosas. And now Tom Brady may be gone, but I got to say, and it sounds like things are squared away with the Niners, so let's look elsewhere for some drama and go to a training camp battle heating up in Tampa with someone who I love, Buccaneers social media specialist Jill Beckman. Carmen says hello, and she's so jealous you're here.
Carmen said to say hi to you too. Thanks for having me on, Kay. I'm honored to be with my favorite person right now. I miss you. When you coming to Bucs camp?
Oh my gosh! Everyone's like, when you? We couldn't make it to Florida. Florida's a little far. We didn't have the budget to make it. But now I think that means I do need to get there for a game. But because I wasn't there, I need some answers from you because y'all have a serious quarterback battle on your hands with Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask. What is going on at camp? What are you hearing? And are players taking sides in this?
No, I don't think players are taking sides, but what you're really seeing is those two pushing each other every day to where you don't know who the quarterback's going to be. There's no clear answer. You would think by this point, a couple weeks in, we might know, who it's looking like. Well, we don't. What you see is both quarterbacks building camaraderie with fans. Obviously, Kyle has been here for a couple years. The fans know him pretty well. Baker staying after every day. That's a video I took actually. But both quarterbacks staying after every day to sign autographs for fans, meet them, take pictures with the fans. Baker taking time to build camaraderie with the offensive line you're really seeing. And Kyle just furthering those relationships he already has. I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see. Baker's going to start tomorrow in our first preseason game against the Steelers. Kyle's going to start next week. It's going to be a battle. It already is.
How's Baker handling it, Jill?
He's handling it so well. I mean, he fits right in. I think he's already made it a point to befriend the staff and the fans, and really just he's starting his foundation. He has his first event in a couple weeks. Just trying to, be part of the Tampa community already. He has his dog and his wife down.
I like that it's kind of nationally quiet. I think that's the exact thing that Baker needs. And it's a nice thing that Aaron Rodgers and all this stupid hoopla around him and these Jets is going on, and nobody's really pointing out Baker. It allows Baker to work, like you're saying. He wants to stay around and really work on it. We haven't seen any sort of weird story or act of bravado or something that somebody's going to misinterpret with something with him as demonstrative as we know that he can be. It's a very sort of intriguing thing when you think about it. And yeah, he was 2-8 last year, not good, but he did go 11-5 with the Browns back in 2020. We know he's talented. He led them to a playoff win. Kyle Trask, a virtual unknown, 9 passes, I believe, in his entire NFL career, and he has yet to make his first NFL start. So the unknown versus the proven, trying to rewrite and overcome something in the shadow of the greatest quarterback of all time. It's amazing. Speaking of the GOAT, Tom Brady, I'm not going to ask you about his dating life. I'm going to ask you what it's like. We have Donovan Smith on the show, who I love, and if you have anything you want me to ask him, let me know. But what is it like covering this team, being around this team in the absence of Tom?
Yeah, Donovan Smith, he's a Penn Stater like me, so love him. But I mean, there's so much energy. I feel like, obviously, losing Tom Brady is, we still have the energy, though, from him. He taught the team so much with how to be an amazing competitor. And I feel like we just got, younger. We're hungry. We got faster in the draft this year. I really don't see a drop off. I see a team that's really looking to prove everyone wrong this season. You're not hearing many positive things in the media about the Bucs right now. And I think they're looking to prove everyone wrong. Just hearing some, smack talk on the field, the players motivating each other, offense motivating the defense. It's really good to hear. They're not just going out to practice and going through the motions in the plays. They're really motivating each other from both sides of the ball to get better. And we're looking to prove everyone wrong. Even seeing I came out of the building the other day from being inside to get some AC during practice, and there were 3 defensive players doing a celebration dance on the sideline. It was Devin, Antoine, and Carlton Davis doing a celebration dance. They're already practicing their celebrations. They're looking to prove everyone wrong.
And so are you, and you just always crush it. Buccaneers social media specialist Jill Beckman, you've been with the team through the highs and now through the unknown, and we're really looking forward to it. Great insights on both quarterbacks in what seems to be as close to a 50-50 one way or the other situation. But good luck to Baker and Kyle in duking it out, and good luck to you this season. We love you. Hope to talk to you soon. And
thank you. Love you too.
Love you too. We will now go to what has really been an eventful time, an eventful season in Indy. When is it not, Zach Kiefer of The Athletic, interesting when you have Jim Irsay as your owner?
When is it quiet here? I don't know. It's been an eventful 9 years, so I'll let you know if it ever quiets down.
Thanks for taking the time. I know you're super busy. Listen, we got our eyes on the first unofficial depth chart the other day. Gardner Minshew and Anthony Richardson are listed as quarterback 1. What's going on?
Well, I can tell you who's going to start on Saturday.
Okay.
Preseason opener at Buffalo. They're going to start the kid. Gardner Minshew is not going to start. It's going to be Anthony Richardson. I think this makes so much sense, right? 13 college starts at Florida. This guy needs to play. The owner wants to see him. The coach wants to see him. The fan base obviously wants to see him. Everybody knows what they're going to get in Gardner Minshew. Nobody knows what they're going to get from Anthony Richardson in a real game in the NFL level. It's going to be really fun to watch.
I mean, this kid has a higher ceiling than anyone. This was if you are a risky draft person and your fantasy draft, you're going with the guy at the highest, you're taking Anthony Richardson number one overall. I would have done that if I was picking at the top of the NFL draft because there is such a high ceiling for him. How would you evaluate? I mean, you've unfortunately seen over these 9 years lots of quarterbacks. Lots of different guys, a bit of a revolving door at points. how would you evaluate what you've seen out of the young kid so far?
Up and down, especially what you'd expect out of a 20-year-old. Remember, 13 college starts, and they weren't great, right? I mean, it wasn't like they had a great record at Florida. It was up and down. But like you said, if you were designing a Madden character, if you were designing a player in Madden, this is what he looks like. And you can see that on the practice field. And talking to some defensive coordinators around the league and some offensive play callers, this guy's going to scare the crap out of defenses, even if he's not that accurate when the season gets here. As of right now, the Colts have been, at least on this topic, on the same page. The dude needs to play. He needs to play. I'd play him for a quarter, maybe a quarter and a half in Buffalo with the starters on Saturday night, just to get him some real reps, get him some real flow in the game and see what he's made of. Because really, there's no expectation for this team this year. That's the lesson they've learned the last couple of years is they weren't nearly as close as they thought. They're resetting everything. All that matters for this team is where they're at in 25 and 26. This is a long build, and getting this kid some good reps now so he can learn the game is going to be invaluable. So I think they're making the right move. We'll just see what he can do.
I know accuracy always a concern. He completed 53.8% of his passes last year, and I'm totally with you. Right decision to have him play in the preseason. But when it comes to real action in the NFL with that O-line, with that run game, sure, Anthony Richardson could go out there, but you got to make sure he's ready. We've seen guys who have tons of talent who developmentally, it all gets messed up because you roll them out too early. When you have a guy like Gardner Minshew, I mean, he had 44 touchdowns, just 15 picks in his career. I'm just saying make sure Richardson is in the best possible situation before it gets ugly, like the Jonathan Taylor situation. Let's talk about that. He's still out with an ankle injury. Trade request has been made. There are reports about a potential back injury now as well. It's ugly.
That was a nice segue there from before it getting ugly to it already being really ugly. Look, I didn't see this coming. I don't think anybody in the organization did back in April and May when Jonathan Taylor was saying, I put pen to paper, I made an obligation to this team to be here for 4 years for this contract. And then everything has changed. And like you mentioned, ugly's not even the right word. Like, this is getting acrimonious with their best player. And a big point to go back to what we were talking about, everything's about Anthony Richardson this season for this team and where he's at the end of the year. In Jim Irsay's mind, he wants that all-pro running back in the backfield to make life easier for the quarterback, right? He went back to 1998. Marshall Faulk was still in Indianapolis, helping a young quarterback, a rookie quarterback named Peyton Manning. And that was a guy who came in with 45 career starts in college. Richardson, like you said, only had 13. So they really wanted Richardson back there with Taylor. And now things have gotten so bad with Taylor. I mean, it's August 10th, but it's getting harder and harder by the day to see him back on the field when they start the season against the Jaguars.
It is such a bummer because, I mean, if you were talking about creating a Madden character in Anthony Richardson and him having all of the qualities, the skill set, if you were to create a guy that you would want to make a poster, a statue, a banner on your stadium of as an NFL player on and off the field, being drafted, like, that's Jonathan Taylor. Like, who, you know, his mentality, it's just, things have really gone amiss. It's a huge bummer.
I can tell you, I thought the same thing too, and I got to know him pretty well over the last couple of years, and nobody saw this coming.
Yeah.
Like, no one saw this turn of events. Like, he was everything you'd want in a franchise running back, a team guy, even with taking the league by storm in 2021 with 1,800 rushing yards.
Yeah.
Literally, the last time they were in Buffalo before this weekend, he was scoring 5 touchdowns in the game, and they were routing the Bills. Like, just think about how far they've come from that moment to where they are now, where we don't even know if he's going to be on the field. And he's getting treatment with his ankle, and hopefully that heals up soon.
Yeah.
I know the team didn't expect the ankle to last this long, but they're in a bad place with him, and it's going to really, really put a damper on the start of the season, which a lot of people are excited about because of the quarterback, like you talked about.
Yeah, we wish him all the best. I think you having the low expectations and the fan base being aware of that and embracing that is so important for the future of this fan base and this organization. So enjoy the year with the Colts. That keeper.
Thank you. I need all the luck I can get.
It's always up. It's always down. It's Anthony Richardson basically getting the start on Saturday night for those Colts. Zach, you're amazing. We appreciate you, and we'll be back because I got questions for this guy. Offensive tackle, Super Bowl champion from the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, Donovan Smith, who do you like better, Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady? Who smells better? Who's more organized? Who's a better dancer? Who's dating a supermodel? We'll talk about all of it with Donovan Smith after. Look at that smile. Welcome back to Up and Out of the... oh. I love when the camera can't even keep up. The camera's like, wait, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Up, down, where? Oh, man. That's Patrick Mahomes. If you've never seen anything in your entire life, that's him showing off, hitting the crossbar on a behind-the-back throw. Was that left-handed? Oh my gosh, joining us now. I mean, is this not the luckiest guy in the entire world getting to work with the GOATs of our generation? One of the newest and quite literally the biggest addition to the world champion Kansas City Chiefs, a true Iron Man who started 100. I really wanted to say this and make sure. Donovan Smith has started 131 of 137 games over 8 seasons. Donovan, how do you do that?
Oh, man. A lot of prayer, a lot of keeping up with your body, and just taking care of yourself, living right.
It's amazing. You're looking right. We're excited for you. Welcome to Kansas City. You are in your 9th training camp, my friend, but the first one with a new team. You were with the Bucs for the past 8 seasons, winning a Super Bowl with them. Give me the biggest difference, the one difference that you're really noticing from Kansas City to Tampa.
Oh, man. I think the biggest difference is just the weather so far. You get a nice little good Midwestern breeze, coming through in the morning. But for the most part, just 2 different organizations. The Chiefs, they work pretty hard. Coach Reed, he's a Hall of Fame coach. And obviously, all his methods and stuff, it pans out and shows. So, we just a team that goes out there, works really hard, competes, and just looking to perfect everything to make sure that we get better, to make sure that we win.
Now, you have Coach Andy Reid there. I feel like, Donovan, everybody thinks they know Coach Andy. He's so fun. He'll make the hamburger joke. He's tough. He's a winner, all of that. Is there something, and you got a smile on your face, so I know you got something for me. What have you learned or what surprised you from being around him?
He's not a man of many words. He keeps things short and sweet. Get to his point. You know what he means. We know what he wants. Without all the extra verbiage, and he gets straight to the point. Make sure you know.
You know what it's like, my friend, to defend a Super Bowl win. You, of course, beat the Chiefs as a member of the Bucs. I'm sure that's not coming up in the locker room around there. You know, though, how tough it is to repeat. What did you personally take from that experience in Tampa in 2020 that you are bringing to that locker room and telling some of your new teammates?
Just the mentality and the mindset that's needed to make sure that you get to those big games, later in the year. Making sure that you take care of everything that you need to often and early on. Being passionate about it, loving the game, putting everything into it. Because obviously you get back out what you put into it. So, just kind of those things, and then just, my personality and things of, the football nature that I feel like, a lot of teams may need. And, we just drive to push everybody. Accountability is huge there. And you can't get anywhere without having a strong team. So, we want to make sure that we build a strong foundation starting here in training camp. And that's what we're doing. So.
Yeah, I love that. So I was at Commanders camp last week for the whole day, and they're like celebrating. Obviously, new ownership, they're happy. And all the guys, Jahan Dotson and Sam Howell and Ron Rivera, everybody's happy. And then I go, how is it with Bieniemy? And they go, because he's such a it's funny. Like, he's such a hard ass, like the smile sort of leaves their face because he's like, no joke, accountable guy. And I know he's not there anymore. What does it feel like post Eric Bieniemy? Like, does it seem like a little weight off the old shoulders of everybody because he's so aggressive and serious?
To be honest, I wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
I haven't spoken to a lot of guys specifically about him. But briefly in the conversations that did come up, everybody said they love him. In terms of who he is, what he wants for you, what he wants for the team. Different coaches and different players accept different ways of coaching and receiving those things. So he has his coaching style. It's not going to fit for everybody. It's just the way that it goes. But, if you're really into it and can put things aside and understand that it's coming from a place to make sure that, you get better and compete, it'll all work out for the best. But, from what I heard, everybody loved it.
Donovan, who is your toughest coach?
Oh, man, my toughest coach, college included?
Yeah, sure.
I didn't have a lot of head coaches, so I done went through Joe Paterno, Bill O'Brien, James Franklin, Dirk Cutter, Lovie Smith. Bruce Arians, Todd Bowles, now Andy Reid. So, I mean, the toughest I would say would probably be the Bill O'Brien and Joe Paterno days in college, I would say. Yeah, so I was prepping privy to all of this.
Gosh, Dirk Cutter, I wasn't ready for that cut right there. Oh my gosh, you've had so many. Yeah, Bill O'Brien would make sense as the toughie, and he's up there with the Patriots now. Okay, so you're going from blocking. Speaking of the Patriots, one of the best quarterbacks ever in Tom Brady, who you won a Super Bowl protecting, and now you're tackling the blind side for Mr. Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback in the league right now, the one that stands and everybody else is beneath him. And I know it's early for you in KC, but it's a big change. 8 years there, now you got 1 year here, not even into it yet. Is there a common thread that you've noticed in each of their personalities? Like, how are they wired similarly?
It's kind of tough, going throughout the facility and the building, and we all operate on our own schedules, different positions and stuff like that. But seeing them through the facility and the brief interactions that we do have, there's a lot of similarities. Obviously, Pat is a lot younger. He's more in tune to a lot of things with, going on and, the locker room and stuff like that. So he's able to easily connect better. But in a sense, just how they prepare, the amount of time, the amount of energy and effort that they put into, making sure and understanding that they know what they're doing. They're coaching all the time, players, to make sure that, everybody is on the same accord. So, that's the type of thing that you look for in a quarterback, to be able to, take control, make sure that he's on the same page with, the receivers, the O-line, and understanding, tight ends, all of these things. Because, it just brings everybody up to speed. But, hats off to him. He's an amazing guy. Obviously a great husband, great dad, family man for sure. So, you carry all those aspects into being a great player. You can't miss.
You have a smile on your face, and I'm sure playing with Mahomes had a lot to do with you deciding to go to Kansas City, not to mention the pedigree, the fact that they're just like the team to beat in the NFL right now. I remember I got to interview both of them together, Brady and Mahomes, like 2 days before the Super Bowl that you won. And Mahomes, they had such mutual respect, but you could tell Patrick was like, oh my gosh, Tom Brady, like here he is. How many times has he asked you about Brady already?
0, to be honest. I mean, how many times is Jordan asking about LeBron, however you want to put it?
Yeah.
He's writing his own book, his own history books. Obviously, you have the respect for Brady for what he's done to the game. But, it's the end of an era, and now it's time for him to take over and be that. So, and he is that. But, it hasn't been many conversations about Brady from, at least to me, from him personally. So, but, it's all about him. He controls his own destiny. Like I said, he's a great player. Everybody sees that from, inside and out. And, it's all up to him to doing this thing.
You said, does Jordan ask about LeBron? Are you saying that Jordan's better, that LeBron's better than Jordan? What are you saying there? What are you saying?
Personally, yeah. I'm taking LeBron just because I'm a 93 baby. I mean, I do remember Jordan, but not much. But, LeBron's been, running it for the past 20 plus years. You get what I'm saying? And, it's him to me personally. I mean, don't get me into that conversation.
I won't. I'm a 93 baby. As a Chicago girl who remembers the 93 Bulls, that really hit me. I didn't deserve that today, Donovan. I've been nothing but nice to you. All right, let's talk a little bit more about you. You are joining some studs on the offensive line. I want to know how it's all gelling. I got to hang out with Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey. They're like best friends. They're so cute. I was at the draft with them. Trey Smith said this to me. He said, there's no better feeling than putting someone on their ass. Okay, and you're no stranger to doing that yourself. Donovan, look at what you do, okay? What did you do to this defensive end for the Falcons?
I just got good hand placement. And, just understanding, the depth of a quarterback and the pocket and how it works. And then just the rushers. Once they get to a spot, they pretty much got to counter in. And, I kind of just use his body weight and momentum going towards him and just aggressively put him down.
Yeah, no big deal. I don't know, I had good hand placement. But did you have to throw him into his teammate later in the game, though?
I did that?
I think so. What is this? Is this a different film? I thought we had that.
Man.
There it is.
Oh, that's another clip. Yeah. I'm pretty sure my guard likes it. You know, to be able to take two guys out is pretty good. But you know, pass pro and the game of football is very physical, especially down there in the trenches. You know, it's something that we take pride in. So I'm right there with Trey. Anytime that you could, you know, take a grown man, you know, against his will and just manhandle him, it's the greatest thing ever. So, you know, to be able to go out there and do that, it's amazing.
Donovan, I always say, like, I'll never know what it's like to be a football player, but I feel that Falcons defender, because that's what you did when you said that you don't remember 1993. I had that same feeling just come across my eyes.
It's all love. I
want to show you one more play, because you played the team you're on now last season, okay? Take me through this one and tell me how satisfying it is to make that block all the way down the field. Come on.
Oh, man. Yeah, just a big man getting out in space. You know, always since, you know, you were younger, you was always told you're too big to do something. But, you know, that's my dreams of running around on a football field, to be able to get out in space, you know, chase those little guys and, you know, make a big impact and play like that, you know, for our running back to get out in space and make some yards. So, you know, it's always fun to get out there running out in space. I don't think anybody like that. What number was that? I got to go apologize now.
Justin Reed, I believe. You got to go, I don't know, you got to like make him send him some cupcakes or something. That is a brutal play.
Yeah, I know. We was eating lunch the other day too. I'll make sure I bring that up.
We'll just show him the clip. You know, Justin Reed has a lot to say about a lot of things. I want to ask you about Tristan Wirfs, because he's, former teammate of yours, so eloquent, so vulnerable, so honest. And he talked about what it's like with this switch from going, you know, from right to left tackle and how tough that can be. So from, you know, hearing that from a teammate perspective, what does it say about Tristan that he was sort of able to recognize that and sort of get the help he needs to make the switch?
Hats off to him, honestly. To be that transparent and vulnerable. Obviously, in a world where, you know, it's tough for people to be vulnerable, you got to tip your hat to him. He's speaking out on a lot of things that I feel like a lot of players who play our position feel and know. That is not an easy task to do, switch from left to right or right to left, either way you want to put it. You know, just looking at the way that your body is just, you know, built and whatnot, it's set to be, you know, to the right. You know, my hips are set, you know, differently versus, you know, being on the left and all these other things. But mentally, it's also, you know, a battle as well, because obviously if you feel like you thrive at a better position, you know, on the left or the right, and then get switched over, you have thoughts of production on what's going to happen, and, you know, all of those things. But like I said, hats off to him to being able to speak out on this and advocate, you know, specifically for how he feels mentally and emotionally inside about the game of football, because it does give a lot. I think this is the only sport that I think can take you through any and every emotion, you know, as a human being. So, you know, to be able to do that and voice those things is huge to him. And I'm proud of him for doing that. I just think a lot of guys should advocate a lot more for what they believe in, business-wise, personally, because we are our own business as a player. And, yeah, you know, I think he's going to do great there on the left side, though. But, yeah, I just feel like a lot more guys should advocate for what they really believe in and stand true to it.
It's really well said. What would you tell Tristan? Like, what advice would you give him, and what gives you the confidence to say he'll be great on the left side? What do you know that we don't?
I mean, I know how he works. I know how we work there in Tampa and everything. We're going to make sure we put everything, you know, out there and get all the kinks done, and we're going to find the weaknesses and work on those. So I know wherever he's feeling and whatnot, you know, I'm with him 100%. You know, don't be afraid to reach out no matter what. If you want to just, you know, complain and just need an ear, you know, I'm always there. But, yeah, you know, at the end of the day, it's our job. We're going to go out there and make sure that we perform at our highest ability, highest level. And he's a baller. He's going to do great. They still got to go through that big boy. So I got no issue. Once you get his hand on him and everything, you know, they still got to go through him. So,
yeah. And now the guys in the AFC West have to go through. I'm just picturing 8 years in Tampa, and I think training camp's in Tampa, and you get to like go to the beach. I know you're saying it's hot. And then Donovan Smith walks up with these 2 suitcases to St. Joe's, where there's like no Wi-Fi internet, there's barely a grocery store, and you showed up. Like, was it fun? What was the best part of this Chiefs camp that's known for being a tough camp with Andy Reid, and just like it's just you and like Travis Kelce? Like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah, it's actually pretty humbling, really. You go from, staying at home in training camp or being in the facility. It kind of is a good mix-up. We're about an hour away, staying at Missouri Western in dorms. You're back to the old days of a TV, a desk, and a bed. 2 twin beds we put together to make a king. Type of thing. But it's good. You build a lot of camaraderie with the guys. We're always around each other, and we're just there. For the same mission, same task. It's literally nothing there but football. So your mind is 100% locked in on that, and we get to have a little fun. And obviously, the dog days at training camp, we able to lean on each other right there to make sure we help each other get through, because training camp is a long time, and guys can get fed up with it, hitting their own guys all the time. You get antsy to play. So in those dog days, we have each other to lean on, and you look for that.
Do you have a bestie yet? Last question. Is there somebody that's saying, like, we're playing Trouble and Sorry and Monopoly over here, we're playing some Jenga, come on over, Donovan? Like, who's give a shout out to somebody who's sticking out to you through the process.
Oh, man. Everybody, to be honest. I tip my hat to everybody in that locker room. They've accepted me, allowed me to be myself. They look at me because I'm the old guy, technically.
Well, you're old.
Technically, but it's good to be in there. I hang out a lot with a lot of the old linemen as usual. Jawan Taylor, we share bathrooms, so we're always together. And then just pretty much anybody that I can get in with and talk to. I'm in and around. I'm still a learning process for me, learning all the names, learning all the players and stuff still. So, everybody is for everybody there. You get in with the DBs, you get in with the linebackers, D-line. Willie does a great job. Bolt does a great job out there. Running backs, Clyde, Jet, everybody. Yeah, pretty much. You just kind of get in and you're there for one purpose. So
every time I see you, I'm just going to laugh about you putting 2 twin beds together to be able to hang out.
Yeah, exactly.
Have so much fun this season, and I mean, this was delightful. And I wish you another. Don't bring that Super Bowl ring around, because you will have no friends. You will have no friends if you bring that Bucs ring around. We love you. We'll talk to you soon, Donovan. Bye.
Definitely appreciate you having me.
Bye.